Ninja Warrior is all about recovering in between obstacles. So I expected to do 12. I did 23 rounds. Never done that before, definitely not. Those were my rest times. I thought, you know, I could keep going, but I shouldn't be able to. So I kind of huge for ninja training. So fourth round, my numbers actually, I completed the 400s faster. So doing these workouts over and over and over again, some of them are my go-tos, right? So impressed by the results here. I'm sure it's not a placebo. Hit that flow state. I got very zen in the process. I was just calm, slow, but explosive energy. The whole idea of dual fuel is really intriguing. The ketone ester just kind of blows everything out of the water.
An hour and a half later, and I saw a 0.3 millimole increase in my ketone levels. $7 a pop, not quite worth it in my opinion.
If you haven't heard of Ketone 8, I mean, it goes without saying, you gotta get on the hype train. This stuff's gonna blow your hair back.
Frank Yosa here, CEO of Ketone 8. I've got Andy Lowe's here. He's a American Ninja Warrior, and his handle is Keto Warrior. Hey, Andy.
Hey, how's it going, Frank?
Pretty good. Thanks for jumping on. So I saw one of your review videos of the Keto Max product. It was amazing video footage, if nothing else.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
And it didn't go that well. I think your ultimate conclusion was that you didn't notice much.
You know, it might be my own fault for expecting a boost in ketones, like something remarkable or whatever. But yeah, a little underwhelmed by the outcome there at the end.
Okay. Well, so then I was trying to get a hold of you. It was a little bit tough, and I was like, well, you got to try this. You got to try this. And I'm sure you might have had an expectation of, oh, you know, there's 20 different companies all knocking on my door with the same thing. But I'm happy that you finally believed us to try it out, and you took it yesterday. Let's start off with, you know, how did it taste?
It was delicious.
Oh yeah.
I'm kidding. It was actually, you know, I thought it was going to be worse than it was. I heard some people just like, and I saw a couple of testimonial videos, people were just like, ugh. So I was preparing for the worst, and surprisingly, the lime, you know, accented it pretty well. So I threw it back in 2 gulps, and I'll share the video stuff I took from it afterwards. But yeah, it wasn't too bad. I mean, it went down a little hard, but afterwards, the aftertaste wasn't too bad.
Did you chase it immediately with sparkling water or anything?
I did. Well, actually, so I left the sparkling water in the car. I forgot it.
Oh no!
But you know, I chased it down with some regular water, and then right after I was done, I ran to the car and swashed some of that mineral sparkling water.
It helps, doesn't it? I mean, those bubbles matter.
Yeah, I was all right. I mean, I was like I said, I was expecting like straight up battery acid, but it was pretty palatable. So
if it does something, you wouldn't mind taking it every day?
Oh, I would take it every day for sure.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So then you took it. How large was your? So you're keto. Let's go over briefly how keto you are. Are you cyclic keto? Or are you multi-year?
Yeah. So I've been sampling different other protocols. You know, I was strict keto right up to the national finals for Vegas. I'd been doing it for 2 or 3 months, like pretty hardcore. Okay. And then I took some time off, and then I started cycling back with carbs. So I would do like, I would do 5 days on and then 2 days off, and I did that protocol for a little while, maybe a month or 2 months, and then I would do on a day, off a day, and I tried that just to see. I tried targeted too, so just to put the carbs in to funnel the workouts, and you know, just trying to play with different things, find what works for me.
Okay. So then on the top of your bottle, it says how much I sent you, the grams of the actual ester.
Yeah, 50 milliliters.
Great. And then, so we did decide with you to take a bolus of glucose up front, because you have to be a good solid 1 year keto. Right. So how many carbs did you take?
Approximately 46 carbs in the glucose packs.
Great. So almost a 1-to-1 ratio. And you were testing some of your blood glucose levels, so that's great as well.
That's right, yeah. I did my fasted glucose. I did 15 minutes after. I did the 30 minutes, and then the post-workout.
Okay. So what were your glucose numbers? What did they shoot up to after you took the 46 carbs?
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. My fasting glucose was 72. And then as soon as I threw back the glucose, we tested, I think it was 15 minutes after, and it shot up to 168.
Okay, great. And then you took the ester, and you tested your glucose as well after that?
Yeah, so we took the ketone ester, then I checked my glucose and ketones 15 minutes afterwards. Glucose had dropped down to 106, and ketones skyrocketed up to 2.5.
Okay, I would have expected a little bit more, but that is only 15 minutes. And
Right.
we also found during that 15 minutes, if you're sitting down doing nothing versus just walking a tiny amount, it can actually change by another
Oh, wow.
1.0.
Didn't think about that, yeah.
Were you stable or stretching or something?
Stable, yeah, we hadn't been moving much at this point, so.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, that's what it is. We had
Right.
one guy, his numbers were only like 1.0, and I said, that's just not right. What have you been doing? Well, I was just reading the newspaper. Get up and go to the fridge and walk back and tested it again. And, it went up. Okay,
Yeah.
so our goal was to do a test that had something quantifiable and something that was on the high reps, but also give you some insight into, how it might work for your sport, the ninja.
Yeah, the plan was we were going to test 3 different modalities, I guess. One, hanging, so just a dead hanger, hanging from a bar, typically like you would imagine hanging from a bar. And you would do 5 rounds until failure with 1 minute of rest in between.
Okay.
The second one was pull-ups. So I've done this workout many, many, many times. So I have like a whole, year's worth of numbers in my head, like just memorized from how it would go. And so I had certain expectations. And then the pull-up protocol would do 10 pull-ups and then rest the remainder of that minute. And I usually do the workout for 10 minutes. I thought it would be a good idea to test how many rounds I could go until failure, because typically I do 10, but I've also maxed out at like 12 or 13 before.
Okay.
So interesting numbers with the ketone aid there. My dead hang numbers were it was interesting to see like the up and down. Typically when I do dead hangs, if I go right out of the gate and I hang until failure, the second and third, fourth, fifth rounds would be a steady dropping off of my times.
Okay.
Because if you think about it, you're hanging till you fall off the bar, so you can't hold on anymore.
Yeah.
You can't really, inspire yourself to do better. You just fall off eventually.
Right.
So, so I started out 1 minute, 41 seconds. And this is on like a sketchy pull-up bar at the high school, so like it really hurts your hands. So, but I always do the same bar. So 141 for the first round, and then the second round I actually improved by 10 seconds somehow.
Okay.
The third round I dropped off by about 30 seconds, 119. Fourth round down to 40 seconds, and then the fifth round back up to 50 seconds. So I dropped off from 1 to 2, but I think once that lactic acid started building up and I hit that wall, I started to climb again towards the end.
Great. And so that's something you'd never seen before?
Never done that before. Definitely not.
So how would that translate to game time?
Well, a lot of the stuff we do in competition, requires you to be literally hanging from your fingertips or your hands on a bar for sometimes well over a minute. And as soon as you jump down from that obstacle, you have minimal time to recover before jumping into the next challenge.
Right.
For the team Ninja Warrior, it's literally seconds between obstacles. So you don't have any time to recover. You got to go to the next thing like that. So interesting. The recoverability factor with ketone aid really impressed me. And we'll talk about that more in the pull-ups, because that's what really blew my hair back.
All right. Yeah. Let's talk about that. Pull-ups.
So kind of the same thing with the pull-ups. And I said in the video, like I expected to do like 12 rounds and then start to, break off. And I decided whenever I couldn't complete a round, so whenever I couldn't hit that 10, I would stop the clock. I would cut it.
Yeah.
So I expected to do 12. I did 23 rounds of 10 pull-ups with less than a minute between rounds. I have all my numbers here, and that shows you like those were my rest times. Those numbers there.
Yeah. And what's your previous PR on that?
So I've never done more than 15. I'm going to check again here in like a week just to make sure, it wasn't some crazy.
Oh, I'd love you to do that. We had one weightlifter guy who blew out a PR in the bench and then decided to go back a week later, and it was like,
that's crazy. So every round I averaged 13 seconds to do the 10 pull-ups. I would jump down, rest the remainder of the round, and as soon as the next round hit, I'm back on the bar, whether I was tired or fatigued or not. You have to keep going, and so it's kind of like a game. Whenever you can't complete the round, that's when you're done.
Right.
So I got to 8 reps on my 23rd round, and I don't know. Honestly, I think I scared myself because I thought, I could keep going or whatever, but I shouldn't be able to. So I kind of scared myself. I thought like my arms were going to explode. I don't know. I was just thinking some crazy stuff.
Well, it's actually probably good that you stopped, because we found that the recovery for the next day, if someone has a 10% PR, 20% PR, then
Right.
it's the next day they feel actually really fresh. But people that do what you did, which is just completely blow out their PR, yeah, you can be more sore the next day, and that might mess up your routine. So
I'm for sure feeling it today. All my forearms, my biceps, my lats, my back, all those pull-up muscles are like really barking today. So
yeah.
I'm kind of happy with the fact that I jumped down after 230 pull-ups.
But the point is, in competition, knowing that you have even further to go, because you're going to leave it all out on the field. Yeah.
Really, and this is where it strikes my curiosity because, like we said with the ninja obstacles, it's maximum explosive power and as quick as you can. So like with the pull-ups, 12 seconds of hard work, you jump down and you rest for a small amount of time, and then you're back on the next obstacle. So I think the crossover, it's going to apply like huge for ninja training. So as soon as I can get some more more supply.
Absolutely. So after the pull-up, you then decided to do some running?
Yeah, so like I said, I had 3 different things I wanted to measure: the dead hangs, the pull-ups, and the 400-meter sprints. Now, I have a track record of my times for 400-meter sprints, but I don't usually do them after 2 other grueling workouts.
Right.
So total workout time yesterday was 2 hours and 11 minutes. Typically, I do like 30-minute sessions. So that being said, going into the 400s, I actually felt really refreshed. My legs felt good. My lungs felt good. My arms, were a little heavy from all the pull-ups and dead hangs. But, I still went out swinging on that first round. My goal was to set a new PR for my 400. Now, I haven't been doing any track workouts because I had a slight little hiccup, I guess we'll call it. I was doing some bouldering at a competition not too long ago, and I tweaked my foot a little bit. So I didn't want to jump right back into the track workout. So this measurement comes without any benefit of previous training going into it. So
right. So you were doing reps of 400, or you were doing just one all out, see how you did? So
I wanted to do one all out, 4 minutes rest, and then 2, 3, 4. So I did 4 rounds of 400s with 4 minutes rest in between. I was curious to see if I could, maintain somewhat of a good number there. Okay. After going full out in that first one, I expected to be a little slower for round 2, and it was. It had jumped down about 20 seconds from
what was the first time for your first run?
1:05.
Okay. So what was your PR?
PR is 60 seconds.
Okay. And that PR is you were focusing on that event and multiple months getting there?
Yeah, I actually been training for my PR at that point. I've been running track at least once a week for a good month.
Okay, so it's really hard to, if you don't have a baseline on that, sorry, it won't let you just get off the couch after multiple months. It's not that good, so.
Yeah, so that might actually be, at first I was kind of like, oh, well, I didn't get my PR, but if you think about what went into the previous training, yeah, you're not going to like wake up the next day and just have like ultimate fast twitch cardio, so it makes sense, but the recoverability factor is probably worth mentioning because by my 4th round, my numbers actually, I completed the 400s faster. So I jumped up by 3 seconds on my 4th round compared to the 1:20 on my 3rd round. So.
Wow. And so when you've done that 4x400 previously, what kind of, dips do you normally see?
Yeah, interestingly, like the dead hangs after that first round, especially all out, it's, crash course. The second one's usually, 30 seconds slower. And then the next one's even slower than that. And then slower than that on the 4th one. So it'd be a constant dropping off.
Wow. Okay. So that's impressive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm really impressed. I don't really understand the mechanisms going on, but I can feel the recycling of the lactic acid and the recovery. And I'm pretty sure it's more than a placebo effect because I do these things all the time.
Well,
Yeah,
definitely, that was actually my next question. I was going to ask you, what are the chances that this is a placebo? Because that's what, people say.
I think it's fair to say, given my, 8 years of training, understanding my own body, my own limits, doing these workouts over and over and over again. Some of them are my go-tos, right? So pretty impressed by the results here. I'm sure it's not a placebo. I'm very interested in, like I said, the mechanisms involved, how it could really affect, the lactic acids, the recoverability, because Ninja Warrior is all about recovering in between obstacles.
Absolutely.
I kind of pride myself on the whole cardio thing. I think the cardio, it allows your body to recover. If your heart rate is through the roof, right, and you jump off an obstacle and you only have 20 seconds, my ability to recover as, a person who practices good cardio is going to be better than somebody, in my opinion, who doesn't do cardio. They're going to take 45 seconds to recover, or at least get their heart rate back down. So
did you check your heart rate during any of these exercises?
my Fitbit actually just took a dive on me the day before. So it only works. It's crazy. It only works for like an hour at a time now. So the battery like went haywire. But that's one of the things I'm just like, I wish I would have tested, because it would be cool.
We found that the heart rate is Daniel Holloway on his 60-minute crit race. He said it was 2 to 5% slower heart rate.
Really?
So the heart is more efficiently pumping and getting everything out there.
That kind of makes sense, because especially doing the pull-ups, I was surprised by how chilled out it was. Usually, once your heart rate skyrockets and you're doing a lot of work, you can kind of feel it like thumping through your chest, like, I'm tired. But I was like kind of in this Zen kind of.
So on the mental side, what did you notice, if anything?
I remember feeling super peaceful during the workouts. Even my girlfriend who was there, she was recording the video for me. She's like, something changed in your attitude a little bit, because I was fasted going into everything, and the day started creeping up on me later and later. I haven't had anything to eat, right? So I was a little irritable, kind of like, we couldn't get the right shot or something set up, and I was like, why can't we? I was getting frustrated. But yeah, so after taking the ketone ester, I got like a bit more chilled out, just kind of relaxed overall. I kind of hit that flow state. I got very zen in the process. I was just started to have fun with it rather than being like stressed about it.
But meanwhile, did you feel like you're having more energy, or because sometimes people equate energy with jitteriness? So it was a calm energy?
It was that was exactly what it was. A calm, slow, but explosive energy. I noticed after the 400s, and I felt sort of like a little lightheaded, I guess. My blood sugar had been dropping. If you look at my numbers, it had got down to 54 by the end of the whole workout.
Yeah.
So before I tested my blood sugar, I was feeling a little bit lightheaded. But at the same time, I felt very powerful, if that makes any sense at all. I know it's kind of contradicting, but I felt really explosively powerful. Like with the pull-ups, I decided to stop doing them after 8 because I didn't know, what was going to happen if I kept going.
Right.
With the 400s, after I did a few and I kind of felt pukey and whatever, my blood sugar was dropping, but I still felt like, explosive. So.
Well, you will definitely have to dial that in, the moment that you feel lightheaded, take a little bit more carbs. And I don't even know how much you would need, whether it's just 10 grams, a token amount, or whether you need, a good 20, 30. And even the more you take it, you would actually hopefully be able to take the carbs before you're going to be lightheaded. So that you can, predict so that it can get in your system, as opposed to just taking another 10 minutes of it. So that's all, getting used to it. Imagine, one day someone saying, "Hey, there's this thing called sugar. Let's use sugar in our runs." And people go, "What's that?" It's going to take, a while to incorporate that, because every athlete's going to be different.
Right. Yeah. This whole idea of dual fuel is really intriguing, because since I started playing around with keto and, switching energy fuels from carbs to keto, burning both is just like, how can that be? It's like
it's the holy grail. Now, I'm hoping that your teammates will give it a shot, but I don't know whether their performance will be as good as yours, because there are some benefits. let me back up. This drink was designed for non-keto people.
Yeah.
However, people that are keto, they have more enzymes in their system and more ability to use the ketones. So you might end up finding that those people might be exponentially, better off.
Yeah. That seems to be my the way I would feel about it, because once you have the the metabolic machinery for burning those ketones, your body's going to recognize it and sort of know what to do with it, rather than what's this awkward fuel? I don't know.
Right. I mean, for that matter, a lot of people who are non-keto have a 15 to 20-minute transition where it's just that, where it's kind of like the gears are going in the wrong direction. What's going on here?
Right.
I don't know. Maybe you even skip that completely.
Interesting. Definitely.
Did you have any warm-up period where you kind of felt, what have I just done? What have I just drank?
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. I felt, I mean, if anything, before I drank it, I was a little bit irritable because I hadn't eaten probably, since I was fasted to the time when I took the ketone aid, it was probably like 18 hours or so.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I was pretty deep in the fast. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll definitely, keep asking that question to people that are non-keto and see if there's a pattern there where, maybe the people that are somewhat keto don't need as much of a warm up to get, the fuel going as people that are, used to that fuel. That's interesting.
Yeah, that makes sense. I felt like I was ready to go as soon as I was done. Like, let's get this thing started. So the pull-up workout, I do the same workout all the time. It's usually a 10 for 10. So I'll do the 10 pull-ups, rest the remainder of that minute, and then jump on the bar for the next set for 10 rounds. Now I've done it up to 15 rounds before just to see if I could. And I couldn't do any more than that at that point. So I expected to do maybe 12 with the ketone aid because I haven't been doing this particular workout. So I set my goal to be 12, and I ended up doing 23 rounds, 228 pull-ups before I decided, I'm going to throw in the flag and hang it up for today because I didn't want my arms to explode. But really impressed that I got that far and that I could have kept going. Very interesting.
Wow. So let's finish it up here, and then so is this the real deal, and how does this compare to the salts, and are they even in the same league?
I think it goes without saying this product is in a different league than the ketone other supplements out there. Like I won't name the names, but the ketone ester just kind of blows everything out of the water from my experience. Now I haven't sampled everything, but I've been delving into this stuff for a couple of years now, and very impressed by the product. I think it's got a huge market once it goes out to the public. So very intriguing.
All right. So you think it's the real deal?
Yeah. I think it goes without saying this stuff is the real deal. It's it hits your body like snap of the fingers. It's a fuel. It's a dual fuel. It's impressive. I'm very intrigued to see where it goes next.
So people should believe the hype.
Folks, if you haven't heard of ketone aid, I mean, it goes without saying, you got to get on the hype train. This stuff's going to blow your hair back.